Hi, we'd like to thank you for tuning into the World Boxing Review as we travel the world for past, present, and future stars. My name is Aaron Snowell, and they call me the Hall of Fame trainer of champions. And coming to you live from Iowa, blazing blue, as we call her, Crystal Manzo, with the
Manzo.
blazing blue, them blazing blue eyes. How you doing, blazing blue?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you today?
Well, hey, look, I'm doing well, and thank you for coming on the World Boxing Review radio show. So many people are interested in who you are, so we're going to jump into it to find out a little bit about your background. How did you get started in boxing, blazing blue?
So let me tell you, I have to give all of the credit to my father. He was a large boxing fan back in the day, just a fan, right? We casual fans. And he started with Muhammad Ali and Frazier. He make a bet 1971. He was in the freshman in the high school. He make a bet. He take the underdog. He take Frazier, and he win the money. So this is how it all started.
he
That's
he
all
won the dough,
he
but
do.
huh?
He do. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's tell the, some different organization that you're working with in boxing. You are a USA boxing official.
Mm-hmm.
You're also the Iowa Golden Gloves Board Secretary and Treasurer, and
Mm-hmm.
you're the Iowa LBC Chief of Officials Assistant. Talk
Yes.
a little bit about all of those accolades that you're a part of boxing. We say you're busier than a one-legged dog in a butt whooping contest, but come on with it, Blazing Blue.
Okay. So yes, I am busy in the boxing world. I love the sport. It's my passion, right? So um just a few years ago, it hasn't been too terribly long, I signed with USA Boxing to become official. You have to go through classes and training to do this. And I'm still mastering. It's not, I have not been doing it for 15 years. I just started within the last five. So um, just right now, I'm working mostly on the judging part. I feel like in order to be a great referee, I need to be a perfect judge. So until I get there, then I will step in the ring and do some more refereeing later. But for now, I focus mostly on the judging portion, any administration necessary. And one big thing coming up for the USA Boxing Amateurs is a national qualifier in Albuquerque, New Mexico. I have been invited out there, so I will be there later here in March. So that's a big in the amateurs. All of these professional boxers have to start somewhere, and it's right here in the amateurs. So the Iowa LBC, I just started with them a couple of years ago also. They have a great group out here, and I enjoy working with them. We have a lot of obstacles being in the Midwest. We are not a large like California, Texas, Florida. We don't have a large group of boxers, but it's one of the oldest sports in the state of Iowa. We started in 1938 was the first one for the Golden Gloves. And now the Golden Gloves will have its 86th year, and the show will be here in the Cedar Rapids, Iowa at the end of March. So I'm looking forward to that. We're bringing back former world champion Michael Nunn to be a part of our show. So definitely looking forward to that.
Wow, that's big, And you talked about your USA boxing experience as being a judge, but you did referee a little bit too,
I have
to
done
my
some.
understanding. And tell me, in this short period of time, as you want to say, I'm not saying that, that's you saying this. You have judged and refereed a lot of fights,
Yes.
but
So
what? Tell us the number. What's the number? I know it's up there.
it's up there. I would say probably I'm getting close to the 500 mark at this point. Um, and potentially even more than that. But right now, I would say the last tournament I do 56 bouts. So 56 bouts and 5 of those I was on the wrong side of the cards, which that's a growing situation, right, for me. But still, if you look at the amount of bouts that we have and how much you have to be focused as a judge or a referee, there's a lot to this that many folks don't understand. There's a lot of training, there's a lot of learning, there's a lot of growing. And I admire all the mentors that I have. There's many mentors in the USA boxing that I look up to. I learned so much from them, and I continue to grow. And yeah, right now I focus locally: Iowa, Nebraska, Missouri, Kansas. Um, Almost every weekend we have a show in one of those
Yeah,
places.
but you know, in doing so, you travel a lot. You
Yes.
know, your experience in traveling and all this for boxing. You
Hmm.
know, and you have young children too.
I
Uh,
do.
I- yeah, explain how that works for a mom, a woman like yourself. Talk
Hmm.
a bit about that for women that are listening and they want to get in boxing and they may have small children. Talk a little bit about that, how you make it work for you.
Okay. So, I rely on my family support a lot. My mother, my friends, um, fathers, everyone have a part to play in this cycle called life, right? So
Yeah,
I have a great support system. I have a lot of people who are willing to reach out and help. And sometimes the youngest right now, she is 10. Sometimes she gets the best seat in the house, and she be on her little tablet or her phone. The last one I take her to a big fight was David Avanesyan versus Bud Crawford, right? And she have the
right.
best seat in the house, and she on her little tablet, and but
Yeah, well, she's becoming a boxing aficionado at a young age, like
yeah.
how I got into boxing, being around it. So
Hmm.
she might grow into to be a judge, a referee, or something like this, or lead an organization. We all start somewhere, and she's starting very young, which is a added plus. And I hope she sticks with it like her mother. If she's anything like Blazing Blue, she's going to be blazing good, which you are. For that amount of uh, officiating that you've done with over 500 and some fights. That's a lot of great experience that you got in a short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, so um, they say in boxing, yeah, they try to get with this referee to tell them what to do. How the influence, the fishes. What do you feel about all of that? And how do you stay at an arm's length from all of that kind of nonsense?
Hmm. This is a true situation that happened within the sport. The sport of boxing, they say, quote unquote, have been corrupt for years. None of this will change. The boxing is a business. Not only is it a business for the fighters themselves, for the boxers themselves, but also for the promoters, the officials. Everyone need money, want money. They have to support their families, right? The thing
Yeah,
about the USA boxing, this is mostly volunteer. You see the folks who have passion for the sport and for the fighters, for the coaches, for the trainers when we are talking USA boxing. So yes, there's a lot of our own dimes that go into this, but later as you grow and you become better, look at Kenny Bayless. Kenny Bayless started when he 42 as an amateur official. Now the
yeah,
lad has retired in 2023 as one of the most well-known referees across the country, actually in the world. So I think that there is potential there to for anyone willing and able to do what we do, who love the sport, who have the passion. If you don't have the passion, it's not worth your time.
yeah. And you mentioned Kenny Bailiff. I'm going to tell you a little something about Kenny Bailiff. Back in the day, he wasn't getting opportunities to referee fights and stuff. We helped him. I did myself, Carl King, and helped him get the opportunity to start refereeing fights. And I when we were up at the International Boxing Hall of Fame where he was at, and
Yes.
Michael Nunn was with us,
Yeah.
um, we had a chance to reflect on that, and he started laughing. I said, "Hey, baby, you come a long way, baby, to get where you are today."
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
Nichelle, she who's the tech with us, she said, Blazing Blue, good morning. Thank you for sharing your great story. Keep boxing
Blazing
trail
away.
along, and that's um, so true. If you're not passionate about it, it's not worth it your time. This is what she's saying. So
Tremendous.
yeah,
Thank you so
so
much for the welcome.
yeah, so the passion started with you, with your father, and you've grown into something, an amazing official, a judge, a referee. What
Thank you.
was it first like to referee a fight? Talk about, they look at you, they know you're a female, and these
Um,
blazing blue eyes that everybody that meets you talks about. Um, what is the experience of a woman referee? Let's talk about your first time refereeing. What did it feel like? Were you nervous, scared, or whatever?
Let me tell you that to this day, when I'm ringside, I have butterflies in my stomach. I, it's like, they talk about the streets of gold in the heaven. I feel that when I'm ringside, whether it be as official, a judge or referee, or just as a fan of the sport. I love to be there, and I love it so much. My physical body react, right. So
Right,
uh, as a woman official, we don't see, many people have already created that pathway for me. So Sparkle Lee is one of them. She wonderful referee she is.
yes
um,
she is.
there's other ones who have already created this pathway for us. So I don't see too much or feel so much of the intimidation, perhaps, due to being a female. I would say I do feel a little intimidated sometimes when I'm with others that I know who have been in here for 15, 20, 30, 40 years. Marshall Cunningham, I recall watching him on the TV in some big fights as a referee, and then to be officiating with the lad. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's a pleasure. It's an honor to meet you in person and speak with Aaron Snowell in person. This is a blessing. To me, is a blessing, right? Um,
Yeah.
it's absolutely a phenomenal feeling to be able to be considered as an equal, if you will, or
Well, look, there's no big eyes and little U's because even a dishwasher is important. And when you have passion for something, your passion for something turns into greatness if you put the passion and direct it in the right way. It would turn out to be great. And that's what happens. Like people say to me, well, how did you train all these guys? This guy, I said, I just used to take one at a time. But
mm,
when I had guys on the top, I used to train guys that were just starting out, like
mhm.
4 6 rounders. And then what happened as the big names were going off, training the guys that were just 4 rounders, they come around and now they get their title shot, they win. So the cycle just kept going, but you have to have a passion for the sport and you got to work it. Like with you to sit there for 56 bouts, blazing blue and judge. Boy, that takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of wit. It takes a lot of grit. It takes a lot of mindset, and it takes a lot of passion, which you have for the sport to sit and judge that many fights. But
Even
now that
even
we do, go ahead.
even though when we are not ringside, what we do to master, what we want to do in life, I still have to study. I'm constantly watching fights. How is this referee moving? How do they judge this fight? And now with technology, it make it possible for us to do remote judging as well. So we are learning constantly. I know there's a lot of riffraff, I hate the commentators, I hate the judges, I hate this, I hate that. What do you love about the sport? Excel in what you love.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to talk about, ask you a question about the Iowa Golden Gloves Board, where you're a secretary and treasurer. Talk a little bit about that.
So that happened last year in 2023. They asked me to be on the board, and I say, okay, that's fine. Uh, right now, I don't know, we're getting close to showtime. We are within the same month. So things get crazy. We're looking for sponsorships every day, all day, writing the letters, making the phone calls. Actually, we go on our feet to the Cedar Rapids to do some marketing and speak with some of the restaurant owners, the hotel owners, the city, the tours, whatever we can do to really push the Iowa Golden Gloves. I really, we in the 86th year, there was a strong point in the Iowa Golden Gloves, and after COVID, that kind of fall out. So now we are in the process of rebuilding the Iowa Golden Gloves, and this is actually the first year it will be in the Cedar Rapids. Typically, it is in the Des Moines. Every
Mhm.
year, from what I understand, prior to last year was in Iowa City, this year in the Cedar Rapids. So I look forward to a great show. Bringing Michael Nunn back, I think, will really help. The young lads, perhaps they will not know Michael Nunn as well, but I'm sure their fathers, coaches, trainers, they will know and understand who Michael Nunn was, and the fight he put in the ring and outside of the ring, and now he giving back. He want to come back and give back to the young lads, and that's another thing. The professional fighters, when they come back to the amateurs and show the ones who are just starting to come up that they can too be successful. Not all of these boxers make it. Not all of them do. Only the
No,
smart ones truly
absolutely.
make
But
it.
it works in other ways and forms in their life. When
Absolutely.
you do sport and you do play. Most of all, teach you how to be committed to something. And also, it disciplines you, even though you may not make it, but it teach you how to be disciplined, and it teach you that if you want to do something, you got to work at it. And this is what boxing does. It changes people's lives. It changed their economic status. It,
Yes.
it, it does all of that
Hmm.
uh, for you. But, being secretary and treasurer, Blazing Blue, you are an accountant by trade, right? And profession
Yes, sir.
that you do. So
Mhm.
does this make it easier to sit on a board like that and be a secretary and treasurer because you're just practicing your trade in something that you love? Does it make it easier?
Well, I will tell you, it doesn't feel like work when you love what you do, right?
Okay.
So I do enjoy it a lot, because we do have a smaller physical area in the state of Iowa. It's not terrible. It is a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. Making the phone calls outside of your day job. It is a lot of work, and we need to acknowledge these local LBCs and the boards and the USA Boxing. A lot of these lads have day jobs outside of what they do. The coaches, the trainers, even the boxers.
Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that. In amateur boxing, you need sponsors.
Absolutely.
Sponsors is make any amateur program, with a sponsor, a guy that needs the right tools and equipment and coaches. If once they have a sponsor, they can put all that together. And when people have sponsors, they got to push to help them out. A lot of them end up making it to the Olympics and winning medals because of a sponsor helped them get the necessities that you need for success.
Absolutely.
And that's a good thing. But how to people? that's listening to the show and they want to sponsor the Iowa Golden Gloves, which is one of the oldest Golden Glove uh, things in the United States.
Sure.
So if someone wants to be a potential sponsor, where can they get in touch with y'all to become one, or if they want to give a donation, or you're a 501c?
501c3, yes, we are. So it is tax deduction, right? Deductible. So the www.iowagoldenGloves.org. This is where they can click on the donation button. It take it to the GoFundMe account, and you'll see my name, Crystal Manzo, because I organize a fundraiser, and all virtual kisses and hugs for everyone who do that because we appreciate it so much. We definitely need.
Yeah, but Blazing Blue, you got to have sponsors,
Yes.
and it's for a good cause. And a lot of these programs wouldn't work if you didn't have people volunteer like yourself,
Hmm.
and if you didn't have like a headline sponsor, a title sponsor, and people think, I don't have a lot of money, but if you send 50, $100, or $200, $300, $400, $500, it at the end it all adds up to help the program, and it helps you manage certain things. Talk a little bit about that, people's contribution.
Sure. So this year in particular, it's an average of $30,000 to take the Iowa champion team to the National Golden Glove of America tournament. So $30,000 is a lot of money to raise, but we have a post show coming up after the tournament. We'll raise money at that show also. But we we have different levels. We have the corner, we have the automobile, we have the regular table sponsorship. These are all spilled out on the Golden Gloves website, the iowagoldenGloves.org. And the $1,000, $500, I will take $10 from 10 people. This is $100, right? And
Yes.
it's it's all tax deductible. We have the 501c3, so we definitely are looking for sponsors all day, every day. And then at the actual tournament, we have a nice place to put the banners, display any company signage that you have. We can do all of that, and this will be a big
It,
year.
it is a big year, 86 years. I,
Hmm.
I mean, it's hard to beat that. That means that you're a well established organization, and
Yes.
your machine to be running this organization for 86 years. I know you just got there, get it going, and but COVID hit, and now y'all are firing up your effort
Hmm.
to get this thing in full throttle and full gear to keep it moving to that magic mark called 100 years. And I think you're going to make it. I think these people that are listening that love to do sponsorship or make a donation, I think they're going to be donating, because it's to a good cause. And Blazing Blue, you're just an amazing person in yourself.
Oh,
And I think they'll be donating. So
thank you so
now
much.
say this again, where they can donate and stuff like that, or even call, talk to somebody, or do you have a GoFundMe page or anything like that?
Yeah, so the GoFundMe page is Iowa Golden Gloves also. You can search it, I think, if you go to the GoFundMe and search for the Iowa Golden Gloves. Otherwise, it's www.iowagoldenGloves.org. And right there is a donate button. There's also ticket sales for anyone who is close to the Cedar Rapids. Come on out and enjoy the show for yourself. Um, and then any boxers who need to register, coaches, all of the information will be on that website, www.iowagoldenGloves.org. So please, if you donate, give me a call, send me one email. The email for the Iowa Golden Gloves is very simple. It's iowagolden gloves@gmail.com. I can send you any information you would like. Um, yeah, thank you so much for that.
Yeah, well, hey, we gotta push this thing because we want it jam packed. We want it sold out, so the kids benefit, the young people
Yeah,
benefit, is because you're trying to keep the young and keep them moving in the right direction. And you have a large tournament with all of those fights, and it's doing good for kids that they have time to compete. You know what I mean? And they travel from all over the state that get to this
yes.
Golden Glove event.
What this is an advancing tournament. So once they finish or they are champion, in my book, they are all champions if they get in the ring for any amount of time. But the ones who receive the belts, they will go on to the national team and they will compete at a National Golden Glove of America tournament that will be in May in Detroit,
Mhm.
Michigan. So this is an important elevation, if you will, for the
Uh-huh.
young lads to potentially make a career or make their own dreams come true in the boxing world.
Oh yeah, dreams only come true if you believe that they do. You got to dream a little while. You got to work hard, and you got to make it happen. And this, what you're doing while you're doing PR stuff like this on the World Boxing Review radio show, you're making things happen because people listen to us all over the world. We're just not a local show. A lot of people listen to us from all over the world, and I hope people contribute because this is for a terrific cause.
Thank you so
Now,
much.
let's talk about the Iowa LBC, your Chief of Officials Assistant. What does that mean?
So every LBC have a chief of officials now. That is as part of USA Boxing. This is what they do. So, as a chief of officials, you're really responsible for the safety of the fighters. This is the ultimate responsibility, right? In doing that, you're also responsible for a lot of little things that people don't think about. Making sure the weigh-ins are exactly done by the rule book, right? Making sure that each bout is matched up accordingly. We have to make sure that all of the officials there are registered with the USA Boxing, all of the coaches, all of the boxers. There's a lot of responsibility, and in the state of Iowa, I guess just recently it came to the minds that they want an assistant. So they asked me kindly if I will be an assistant, and I'm all for it. I'm here to help and do whatever I can for the LBC, every level, So
Yeah. Yeah, and it takes time because you got to go to the meetings. You got to tend to be your part to try to give it your best. You know,
absolutely.
yeah, well, I'm going to talk for a little bit about some things that are going on in boxing, and I'll give you your viewpoint.
Okay.
Today, Jake Paul will be fighting Blander over in San Juan, Puerto Rico,
Right.
and on that card, the main event is Serrano.
So
What do you think about Jake Paul, and what do you think about Serrano?
So a lot of people don't like Jake Paul, right? They don't like that
Uh-huh.
he's a YouTuber and now he's coming to boxing. But let me tell you something about Jake Paul. This is what I feel about Jake Paul. Jake Paul is bringing eyeballs to the sport of boxing that were not here before. So
That is
allow
correct.
him to do it. He sell out Madison Square Garden, not alone, because it was Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. They bring the most money to a women's boxing event ever in history. Let it happen.
Yes.
Let it happen. Allow the lad to do what he do. And to be fair, I can tell you just because I know, Jake Paul has been training for many years. When I say many, 5, potentially a little more than 5 years. Let him do the exhibitions that he wants to do. Let him do the fights he wants to do. I don't think that this lad is wanting a world title anytime soon. Those are not the type of fights that he's putting on. He's putting on shows for pure entertainment, but risking his life to do it. One punch,
Yeah.
we know what one punch can do.
Yeah. Yes, we do. And he's 8-1, and the guy that he's fighting a guy that's 17-2-6.
Yeah,
So
he putting his life
um,
on the line.
yeah, he's putting it on the line. So
Yeah,
That'll be in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Right.
It starts on the zone tonight at 7 uh, p.m. Just saying, people tune in because Jake Paul's stuff is already always interesting. He's always a character in and outside the ring, and something crazy always happens.
This is true.
So yeah, yeah. So, but that's entertaining. That's what makes who he is and what he is. And Serrano, she weighed in at 126 pounds to defend the undisputed featherweight champion because she's undisputed champion. So, and Jake Paul weighed 199.8 pounds, and his opponent weighed 197 pounds. So they're right there at the cutting edge. Maybe Jake Paul to move up from light heavyweight into the what is it, the bruiserweight
The,
the division, and maybe he can make a move in there and get a name for himself, get a title defense, and get that division
on
going
fire.
because it's a new division
Right.
and there ain't too many people in there that have names that bring attention to that division. That was like when they started the cruiserweight division.
Yeah.
But guys with great names came along like Marvin Camel, Alfonso Ratliff, Carlos Sugar de Leon, who was from Puerto Rico,
Mhm.
that helped build that cruiserweight division into what it is now today. And hopefully Jake Paul and them can do their thing and bring attention to that division.
I look for Amanda Serrano potentially to have a knockout tonight. I think this is a stay busy fight. I think this is a bring it home fight. I think she'll do very well tonight.
Yeah, I think she will too. You know,
Hmm.
one thing about Serrano, she always comes in and she always gives her best performance. One thing you know about her, you're going to see a fight.
Right.
She comes to fight and she lays it on the line, which creates excitement. And when she fights, most people say, "I didn't even know she was a woman." And you know how that gender thing goes,
Oh yeah.
but she's definitely a thriller.
Mhm.
She is when she fights.
Yeah.
Now we're going to take it overseas,
Okay.
to Saudi Arabia, with Anthony Joshua
Mm.
fighting um, Anuna on March 8th, 2024. What do you feel about that?
You know, I'm not sure. That's a good one.
Yeah, well, Francis and Anuna,
And
uh,
Gunway. So
what he
Francis
did,
almost takes Curry.
what he did with Tyson Fury. We don't know if Tyson Fury was in good shape, but he went the distance, so he had to be in some kind of shape, and he wasn't breathing hard or anything like that. Um, Francis is 0-1 as a professional fighter.
A
With Anthony
professional boxer, right?
Joshua's experience, is he prepared? And did he learn from Tyson Fury that you can't take this guy for a joke, else he'll rip your head off?
Right. Yeah. I think we will get a good performance from both of these lads because Anthony Joshua don't want to lose to a UFC fighter, right? He want
No.
to make it known that boxer is better than UFC fighter or MMA, whatever Ngannou was. But Ngannou, he proved to us when he fight Mr. Tyson Fury that he have some skill set, right? So
Yes, he
whether
does.
whether Tyson Fury was undertrained or don't take it serious or whatever it was, he get a wake up call that day. So
Yeah.
I don't
Eh,
think that Anthony Joshua will be overlooking the lad, perhaps like Tyson Fury allegedly could have.
Yeah, well, I like that flying right hand that he threw at Tyson Fury. It was the first where he,
Elijah,
he jumped off his feet and threw a right hand. I said, "Wow, I never seen that one before in all
right?
my times of boxing." So it was it was something new that he bring to the game. A new punch called the flying right hand, and it was eye catching to see him pull it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Now let's go to a fight that was canceled on a cut with Tyson Fury and Usyk. This fight everyone's been waiting for.
Yes.
It's going to be May 13th of this year
Mhm.
over in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. What do you think about this fight?
First of all, can I say I love the fact that they're in Saudi Arabia? I know a lot of people don't like it because of traveling or whatever, but I think they're building a nice little stable over there, to be fair. And uh, Fury Usyk, oh, it's so hard. Uh, Tyson Fury is he is the mecca right now of heavyweight, right? He is the man in the heavyweight, and the way he moves. But I think Usyk he can give him some problems. The way Usyk move his feet and carry his weight, I think he will provide some problems for Mr. Fury.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, he's a fighter that's his offense is his defense for Usyk, and he stays busy, and he just burns people out from punching at him a lot. Is because they don't think someone at this weight class can stay busy like that without getting tired, and it seems like he's just a buzzsaw. He
Yeah.
takes a licking and keep on ticking, and he just throws punches and bunches, and that's how he's beat a lot of guys. And
He
this fight is
applied the pressure, and I don't know that Tyson Fury would be able to keep up with the pressure. You know, the
yeah, and we'll
constant.
see if Tyson Fury's age, because if when Usyk is putting pressure on him, if he backs up to the ropes and thinks he's going to lean way back on the ropes and all that, it's going to be a long night for Tyson Fury, and we'll see if his legs are still up under him and see if he's gotten old. You
Yeah.
know, see if he's on the other side of that mountain. And this kind of things happen. But April 20th, just the other day, um, on pay-per-view DAZN, they announced Haney versus Ryan Garcia. What do you think about that fight?
Oh, that press conference was entertaining to say the least, right? The both of them. So I
Yeah.
I was asked the same question the other day on another panel, and I have to tell you, I'm worried about Mr. Garcia. I'm worried about Ryan. I don't think he have genuine people around him who truly love him, who truly care for him. To tell him turn off the phone, don't do this on the social media. You know, social media is a devil sometimes to these boxers. It put things out there that don't need to be out there. That should sparring, for example. These things do not need to go public. There's a reason back in the day they never go public, right? So
Yeah.
I do worry about the mental state of Ryan Garcia. Is he playing it? Is it true? I don't know. But either way, I still have Devin Haney. Devin Haney have incredible boxing skills, and I don't see Ryan Garcia outboxing him at all. I just don't.
No, me neither. One thing about Devin Haney, he takes and puts his show on the road. He'll go fight anywhere.
Sure.
And that's a tough thing to do, go fight somewhere and go win.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, they're fighting in the Barclay Center. It should be sold out with Golden Boy promotion with Bernard Hopkins and Oscar De
Oscar.
La Hoya promoting. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's an interesting fight, and we'll see if Ryan Garcia has learned anything from his past fights that he had. I don't think he should have went come right back out of the chute and take a big fight, but it's for the title and it's for big money. You know, you either fight for money or you fight to win those titles. But I think he needed at least one more fight. I think Adrian Bronner was the right fight for him. You know, if he could fight like a journeyman or former champion like that, like a Adrian Bronner, I think that was a better choice of a fight for him. And he called Adrian Bronner out, but they couldn't seem to cut the deal because Bernard Hopkins and Golden Boy with Oscar De La Hoya, they were going through some promoter problems with all of that court and all of that.
Mm.
And I want to apologize to you. This morning I'm sitting outside by the pool, and all of these planes keep flying over. I said, "What do they have the whole airport just flying over, flying over?" I never experienced that before, but if you hear the planes, that's what it is. I'm sitting outside by the pool, and I apologize for it. It may have interrupted people and all of that, but there's nothing I could do about it. The airport keeps sending them in bunches, so we must be in the line to take it somewhere. But let me tell you, in Tampa, Florida, tonight, there's a fight with Phil Alessi's doing the fights at the Hilton. If people have a chance, get out there and attend. I think there's like 9 bouts, a few title bouts. The National Boxing Association, known as the NBA, one of the oldest champions organizations. They reamped that back up. So a lot of title fights they're getting from that organization. So it looks like he's doing a yeoman job with that organization called the NBA to get guys an opportunity to fight for championship and win belts. So we'll see tonight how all that goes, Crystal. But man, time flies by so fast when you're having fun.
Yes.
And and what do you want to talk about? What kind of message do you want to give to people uh, in closing here?
So one thing I will just piggyback off what you just say, definitely support the locals. That's where the passion, you can see it, right? In the local level, you have a lot of shows, and these people put in a lot of work to make these shows happen. So definitely support the locals, your pro-am, your amateurs. Tis the season for Golden Gloves across the all of the United States. Get to a Golden Gloves tournament, whether it be Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, Texas, Florida, wherever you at, wherever the folks are at, get to a Golden Glove show because it's worth your time. Invest in these young lads, and who will we see 10 years from now? We don't know. Who's coming up through the ranks? I know a couple of little gals over on the East Coast. They're sisters, and the younger one just started this year. They were so cute out there, the silver gloves, but they're not cute in the ring. They get those belts. They throw the punches.
They win them belts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they get those
One
belts. They're little champions.
one last pitch, Blazing Blue, about how can people become a sponsor to the Iowa Golden Gloves? Give that pitch again, and where they send their money, and how can they send the money, and how can they get you the money? This is what we want to know.
Okay, so the Iowa Golden Gloves, www.iowagolden.gloves.org, O-R-G. Click on the donate button. It take you right to the GoFundMe account or fundraiser, if you will. Um, you can send a check in the mail if you like. This is P.O. Box 74, Carlisle, Iowa. So
Carlisle, Iowa, ain't that
that's
something?
right.
Is
Carlisle.
that in farm country?
It's out here in the cows and the cornfields, yes.
Yeah.
We have a lot of Iowa people who support the sport of boxing. We're just looking for new ones. We have some, like I said, the Iowa boxing was very, very high at one point, and now we're starting over again since post-COVID. So just continue to support the sport in your own state. But seriously, if anyone want to support Iowa Golden Gloves, we'll take it. We'll show you some love because you show us some love first, and we will return it. So thank you so much, Aaron, for having me today. I really appreciate it. You are an amazing legend.
Well, thank you. And look, we want to thank you for taking time because you're so busy out of your busy schedule for all that you do for the sport of boxing to come on the World Boxing Review radio show. It's about the past, the present, and the future stars. And you have made our day by coming on here, and I'm pretty sure you have made a lot of boxing fans' day, is because now they know a little bit about you and stuff like that. You gave them a little insight who you are and into your life and what you're doing. So when they see you with all these pictures floating, they understand who you are and what you do. But thank you so much for taking your time out to come on the World Boxing Review. In
Thank
closing, I want to say this. You see that when people dream, dreams come true. Blazing Blue, Crystal, is uh, she represents somebody who had a dream, a passion to do something. And she works hard and she rose to the occasion and she keeps rising. This is what boxing is all about. Today's nobody is tomorrow somebody. And Blazing Blue is a rising star in her own right. She's already a star, but she's rising to a major star. So we want to thank her for coming on the show today. In closing, I like to say this here. We like to thank each and every one of you for tuning into the World Boxing Review radio show as we travel the world for past, present, and future stars. My name is Aaron Snowell, and they call me the Hall of Fame Trainer of Champions. Thank you for tuning in to the World Boxing Review radio show. Thank you.
thank you.